Hi, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to do an embroidered name on the back of a jean jacket. Hi, my name's Mary with Sewing for Madison. If this is the first time that we're meeting, welcome to my channel. Crafting is my passion and I love teaching others how fun and easy it can be. Let's go over our project in a little bit more detail. So for this project, we are going to be using my brother Luminaire XP2 machine. I'm going to be using my 6x10 hoop. Within my 6x10 hoop, I have 2.5 ounce cutaway stabilizer. I've went ahead and I've pre-measured here in the middle, just with a pencil, the center of my hoop. That's going to be important when we hoop this jacket. So we are going to be using a floating method, which means the jacket will sit on top of the hoop. And I've got a couple tricks to help you keep that apparel item in that hoop. Okay, so for this you're going to need basting spray. You're going to need straight pins, and then if you're lucky enough to have a machine that has placement stickers, you can use placement stickers as a little cheat tool. So I'm going to get to these stickers in just a second. Now, this is a child size jacket. It's like I believe a 7/8. What I've gone ahead and done is I've taken my chalk pencil and I have marked the center where I want the lettering to go. Now, this design has 3-inch letters that are very thick, so it's going to be across the whole bottom of the back, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these placement stickers and put it right on that design. Now, because we're going in sideways, I don't want to put my snowman sticker like this, because that bigger circle at the bottom, that's where it's going to want to start. So I am going to put my sticker sideways right here in the middle, so that this part here is the top of my hoop. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, this is the top of your hoop. This is the bottom of the hoop. We are going this way with our lettering. So our snowman, the smallest part, needs to be facing towards the top of your hoop. Okay? Now, our next part here is going to be to spray our basting spray onto this hoop. You want to use a pretty generous amount. And again, this is temporary basting spray. It won't leave the garment sticky or anything like that. Now, what I want to make sure is try to get it as close as possible. So what I'm aiming for is my little snowman guy to be in the middle of that X. And for a placement sticker, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but you want to try to get it as close as possible. Okay, now we're pressing that onto the stabilizer. And I want to tell you guys a little trick that I forgot to mention. When you're talking about stabilizers and apparel items, sometimes it can be hard to remember, what stabilizer do I use? Tearaway, cutaway? What the rule of thumb is, if you wear it, don't tear it. So that is kind of the little phrase that I like to remember in my brain. If you wear it, don't tear it. Meaning you want to use a cutaway stabilizer for your apparel items. So once you have this all secured in there with your basting spray, I want you to grab your pins and start pinning this outside area. Now, I like to use longer pins for this. These are technically quilting pins. So if you have shorter ones, you can use them. I just prefer the long ones. It's just a personal preference. And you can use as many pins as your heart desires. If you'd like to get longer pins, I'll link those in the descriptions for the ones that I use. Takes just a little bit of time to get all these pins in there. I'm kind of just rotating this around as I'm going. Okay, I'm going to get one more on this far side here, and that should be good enough. Okay, so it should look like this. Again, this is your top, this is your bottom, okay? This little piece here is where it's going to go into the embroidery machine, so your arm is on this side. Let's take this over to the machine. Okay, so I already have my design loaded and in the correct direction that I want to sew it. So I'm going to slide this in, and then you want to check to make sure nothing is under your hoop, because that is really important. And this pesky little tag keeps popping up in my way, so I'm going to just clip it here. This is actually for a customer, so I don't want to take the tag off, but I want to get it out of my way so it doesn't accidentally slip underneath that hoop. All right, so here is one thing that's really, really cool about the Brother Luminaire. You can project the design down on your fabric. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's this little cone thing here. And I like to use this feature to make sure that that design is exactly where I want it to be. So I'm going to use my finger and drag this all the way over. So the bee is going to be right there. And I'm going to move my camera a little bit so you guys can see this a tad bit better. Okay, so there, now you can see the bee. And then I'm just going to slide my finger on the screen, and the camera will go where I slide on my finger. So there's the L, so it's B-A-L-L. Once I hit OK, it goes back to the middle. And then I'm going to readjust my camera here so you can see my screen. My next thing to do is to check our placement sticker. Now the placement sticker is important because if I had this jacket in there a little bit wonky, this placement sticker is going to tell the machine exactly where to sew, which is super cool, and that's why you don't have to be 100% precise when using stickers like this. So to do your scan, you're going to click on layout and then hit your little placement button, which looks exactly like that sticker, and then it's going to tell you it's going to move, and we're going to scan. Takes just a minute to complete the scan. And then it's going to go right to that biggest circle. That is going to be the center of the design. Okay, so now it says remove the embroidery positioning mark. That's your little snowman guy. So I'm going to take that sticker off, and we are ready to begin stitching. Okay, I'm going to hit OK. Now we can start stitching. Before I stitch, I just want to check one more time, make sure all this fabric is not under the hoop, because I'm pretty anal about that. Everything looks great, so we're going to begin stitching. Okay, so our design is now finished. We're gonna remove this hoop from our machine. Just be really careful when you're taking it out. Okay, now we are going to remove all the pins and remove this from the hoop, and we are going to trim our stabilizer. Okay, now that all the pins are out, we are going to remove the stabilizer from the hoop. Okay, let me get rid of that. And I'm going to turn the jacket over, and I'm pulling back on it just to loosen it, because remember we use that temporary adhesive. Now I'm going to grab my pencil so I can show you guys where to cut. With apparel items, you want to be kind of in a circle. So I'm kind of just draw a little bit of a line around where I'm going to cut approximately for this item. So hopefully you guys can see that. I did it kind of light, and let me do it a little bit darker. So this is kind of where we are going to cut the stabilizer, okay? Now, once I get this done, there is one other thing that you can do, and this kind of works with children's items. You can use a fusible piece of, it's kind of like a fusible piece of stabilizer. It's called coverall, and it will go over the stitches and over that stabilizer so that it doesn't itch their skin. Now, this being a jacket doesn't really need that, but if you were doing apparel on a shirt, you may want to use something like that so that you have a nice finished background. Okay, so I'm going to hold it up like this, and you can see the back of the fabric here, and I'm just going to cut along that line. So I kind of use the light here as my guide so that I don't cut into the jacket. We're just going to continue that, kind of following that line that I drew. I'm going to cut off this excess. Okay, there we go. I'm going to continue to follow that line. Keep rotating. Okay, now here is your finished piece. If you want to make that a little bit smaller, you're welcome to do that. It needs to be at least 1/4 inch. So you can trim this down a little bit further if you'd like. But again, it needs to be at least 1/4 inch away from your stitches. I'm just cutting off my pencil line here on the bottom that I drew for you guys, just because I'm kind of picky. Now, the other thing I'm kind of picky about with apparel and finishing touches is I like to cut my little threads, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. It just seems professional. Okay, now if I was gonna do that coverall, let me grab that coverall. Okay, this is the coverall that we're going to use. So this is a Sulky product. There's lots of different brands out there, but basically what you're going to do is you'll cut a piece to your desired size. You'll get your iron preheated, and then what you want to do is just give this a little bit of a trim. So I have kind of an oval shape here, so I'm gonna give it just an oval shape before we iron this down. I want it to extend about at least a half an inch outside of that design. And again, I'm just doing this because this is a children's apparel item. If this was an adult item, I really probably wouldn't care, but kids are kind of picky and I don't want them to have any issues with the stitching. Oops, I moved my piece. So can I keep going around here? And I'm just going to clean up these edges a little bit. I want to make sure that it looks nice and professional. All right, let's head over to the ironing station and I'll show you how to put this on. Okay, so when you're doing the coverall, the texture is going to feel a little bit different. The side that you want against the skin is very smooth, where the other side feels a little bit rough. So make sure that you have the correct side down against your project, otherwise it's just going to stick to the bottom of your iron. Now I like to use an item in between the iron and this coverall. So I just have a cloth piece here that I'm going to use as a buffer. And this is a press and hold. You want to press and hold for at least 10 seconds or whatever it says on the manufacturer guidelines. This activates the glue and it makes it stick. Then what I like to do is I like to let it cool and then check the outer rim just to make sure that the glue set. So we're going to let that cool for a second. Make sure none of this starts to peel up. I think I'm going to hit it one more time. Just to make sure. Again, this is a press and hold, not move your iron back and forth. All right, that should do it. Okay, so here is our finished product. So again, this is a child-sized jacket. It's about a 6'7". You can see that the letters came out absolutely perfect. We didn't have to use a topper or anything like that. And we used that coverall stitching on the inside just to protect that a little bit more because this is a children's garment. Now, I did use several products today. I'm going to list all of those products in the description for you. Everything you can purchase on Amazon. So if you have any questions about this project, make sure you note that down in the comments. I answer every single question. And make sure you smash that like button and you subscribe for more tips and tricks for machine embroidery tutorials. Until next time, happy crafting!